following presentation is
This entire John Cena being heel thing makes absolutely no sense. It makes such little sense, in fact, that I'm insulted as a viewer. And as somebody who is, in their 20s and not a 5-year-old kid, I'm very insulted at the lack of intelligence that's going on with the WWE right now and with this John Cena heel turn. See, I made a video right when John Cena turned heel, and pretty much I just said that this doesn't make sense. But this was before John Cena's promo on Raw. This was right after the Elimination Chamber. John Cena with The Rock and Travis Scott, they beat up Cody Rhodes. And I'm just like, this whole thing makes absolutely no sense. And just to kind of summarize that video, if you haven't seen it, it's basically just, I was talking about how John Cena won the Elimination Chamber by himself. There was no help from The Rock. There was no outside interference or any of that. So he does that himself. He goes and main events WrestleMania himself, which is what he wanted to do. And he goes and fights Cody Rhodes for the title. None of this needed to happen because he did that on his own. And then suddenly he hugs The Rock, and I guess he sells his soul to The Rock, which The Rock didn't help him. So none of this made any sense, right? John Cena did everything himself. A. B. I also mentioned that John Cena doesn't need to sell his soul to The Rock because he is this big mega Hollywood star who, he has the fame, he has the bright lights, which is what The Rock was offering Cody. But then John Cena comes out on Raw and gives an explanation, which makes the entire thing make even less sense now. And let me explain, okay? So John Cena comes out, and basically his entire explanation, first of all, he didn't even mention The Rock. He didn't mention Travis Scott or Hollywood or selling his soul. He didn't mention it, which you don't need to mention Travis Scott. I'm just saying, he didn't mention The Rock or Hollywood or selling his soul. He didn't even really mention Cody Rhodes at all. He just mentioned the fans and how he turned his back on the fans. And because the fans, the people, were awful to him, they booed him. It was never enough what he did. He kept winning and fighting and winning the titles. They booed him relentlessly. People who wear his merch and stuff. And he's, the butt end of this invisible joke. He's people's puppets. He's their toy. He's just, a product. And I'm not saying that's a bad way. Like, that's not necessarily a bad storyline to do. Like, you want to do the sort of icon idol sort of realizes that people don't really care about him. They more so just want to see him, and they don't really care how he feels. Like, whatever. Like, you want to do that storyline, that's fine. Is John Cena the guy to do that with? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Because for the last 25 years, okay, John Cena has been preaching about how he is the most loved and hated star. And, which it doesn't really matter because he's getting a reaction and that's what he cares about. He knows that fans are passionate about him regardless. Like, he was saying this stuff for years, but then, anyway. So he talks about how the fans are awful and how they treated him terribly. And I get it. It doesn't make sense right now. Yeah, John Cena was booed for a long time in the 2010s. For the last 5 years, John Cena has been cheered like no one's ever been cheered before. The pop for John Cena is insane. John Cena is a super, ultra, mega babyface, and we love him, and we cheer for him so much now. And were the fans really, fickle and rude back then? Sure, why not? Okay, why not say that? But it's not back then. Like, this storyline would have made sense 5-6 years ago. You know what I mean? Like, back in 2019, sort of thing, this would have made sense. It doesn't make sense now because John Cena is an idol, an icon. People love him now. This is 6 years too late, but regardless of that, he didn't mention Cody Rhodes or The Rock, which is a completely, a huge missed opportunity. He doesn't even say why he aligned himself with The Rock, which, by the way, he aligns himself with The Rock, and The Rock considers himself the people's champion. But John Cena doesn't like the people and doesn't want to be the people's champion. Like, this whole thing, none of this makes any sense. And if you think in your mind that any of this makes sense, you're lying to yourself. You really are. Or you're just not intelligent enough to understand that every hole in this story. This isn't even a story. There's too many holes for it to be a story. Like, John Cena is complaining at the fact that the fans are awful to him, and that when they wear his merch, he's just a product to them. Like, what are you talking about, dude? Really, what they should have done is this. And by the way, John Cena didn't change his music or his gear or any of that, which is fine. That's fine if you want to do that. But really what they should have done is this. If they wanted to keep John Cena with his gear and keep his music and whatever, and really actually give a solid explanation as to why this is happening. The entire heel turn should have been about Cody Rhodes. Like, John Cena could have come out and been like, you know what? Like, I still love the fans. I still love all the kids. You know, I still, I want to be a WWE superstar. Like, he could have said something like that. The whole heel turn could have centered around Cody Rhodes. And what I mean by that is, like, John Cena's entire reason could have been the fact that Cody Rhodes basically returned to the WWE and was cheered and never booed. And Cody didn't really have to work his way through anything. Cody just kind of came in, was the shiny new toy, and everybody loves him. Meanwhile, John Cena sees Cody in himself, or sees himself in Cody Rhodes. He sees that, I was once Cody Rhodes. Why couldn't you have cheered me like you cheer Cody Rhodes? I was just like Cody Rhodes. I showed up and I had the cool entrance with the bright colors. And, I don't know. I was a nice guy. I was champion. I worked really hard. I was never defeated. For some reason, the fans boo John Cena, but they cheer for Cody Rhodes. Like, that could have been the whole reason. That could have been the entire reason. Could have been John Cena just hates Cody Rhodes so much because Cody didn't have to work for anything. Cody just got the attention and the bright lights and the title, and Cody got the respect of the fans like that. He didn't have to earn anybody's respect. He was cheered, and he's never not been cheered. And John Cena literally could have said that. He could have come out with his entrance and done the whole thing and went like this and ran to the ring, or walked to the ring, did whatever he had to do. But basically, the point that he could have said was, I am your champion. I was meant to be what Cody Rhodes is right now. You were supposed to cheer for me. It was supposed to be me because I was a nice guy and I treated everybody with respect for 25 years and I got nothing. And now Cody Rhodes comes in and he's killing in the merch sales and everybody loves him and everybody cheers him. Like, that could have been the entire reason. And John Cena's hatred for Cody Rhodes drove him into teaming with the one guy Cody Rhodes hates the most, The Rock. And that could have been a perfect 10 out of 10 explanation. No disputes, no questions about it. That should have been the reason why John Cena turned heel. And that's why I thought he turned heel. That's why I was thinking, like, okay, so like maybe John Cena just really doesn't like Cody Rhodes and the whole main event thing, it's best for business that I main event wrestle. Like, maybe that could have all just been driven because he wants to beat Cody Rhodes at Mania. Why was that not the explanation? Why is John Cena not just fueled by his hatred for Cody Rhodes? Then this whole thing makes sense. But instead you do a heel turn at the Elimination Chamber and you align him with The Rock and Travis Scott. Then he gives an explanation, except he doesn't explain why he's with The Rock and Travis Scott. He just says that he's angry at the fans for booing him 6 years ago, calling him invisible for 15 years. Like, I don't know. Tell me if I'm wrong, please. If you somehow can make sense of this and you think I'm wrong, if you have a problem with what I'm saying, that's fine, I guess. Everybody's entitled to their own opinion, but just know that I'm going to consider myself a more intelligent being than you. If you think this whole thing makes a whole bunch of sense and you think I'm looking way too into it, or, you think the John Cena promo was just the biggest, most mind-blowing promo ever because John Cena's heel and who cares what the explanation is, that's fine. But just know that I believe I am a better human being than you in terms of my intelligence. You know what I mean? So just know, I will be judging you. Just know that. But anyway, that's all I have to say about this. Because what else can be said? What is John Cena can do? I don't know. Maybe they can spin this somehow and make it work. For now, none of this makes any sense. John Cena's explanation was terrible. Let me know what you think in the comments. That's it. Good night.